Hi, so welcome to this video. In this video, we will complete HTML and CSS section for the FreeCodeCamp responsive web design. To access to this, you just come to FreeCodeCamp and then create a free account and then open the course of responsive web design. Previously, I make a video about CSS grid, but right now you can, if you are just a beginner, you can start from HTML. If you want to start your responsive web design journey, so it's starting from HTML and then the process will be going to CSS and then going to the other things as well. So first of all, we will complete the HTML and then go to the CSS for styling our web page. So these are beginner friendly and you can try and you can test, because one of the things that is having is to you, it will give us a certificate. So this is one of the thing that gives us a value to have a certificate and also a recognized certificate, because FreeCodeCamp is one of the most popular platform for learning to code. Okay, then we'll click on expand codes and then click on say hello to HTML elements. So this will open the code editor for us, and here we can find where you can find the, here we will have the code and few instruction, and there is the output of the code that we have written here. And here is the few things that will be written for your instruction, and it is really easy to read, so you can go ahead and read those. First of all, welcome to FreeCodeCamp HTML challenges. This will take you through web development step by step. So here is a thing, we can see their output is hello. Most of the HTML element having an opening tag and a closing tag. Opening tag looks like this. So HTML is the combination of tags. So h1 is a tag which has an opening. So you can see it has an opening and it has a closing tag as well. So it has to be written in that way, otherwise the code don't work. The only difference between opening and closing tag is that the closing has a forward slash. Each challenge has a test. You can run at any time by clicking the run test button, and when pass all test, you will promoted to submit the next solution and go to the next coding challenge. Okay, so first challenge is, so there we'll have the challenge what we need to do with those piece of code. To pass the test on this challenge, change your h1 element text to say hello world. So from hello we need to change it to hello world. So hello is already written, we'll make it hello world. Okay, so you can see the output is right now hello world. So first of all, you have to know the closing and opening tag. So this how the opening tag has been written, and this how the closing tag will be written. Okay, and in between anything I can return my name like that. So you can see my name is with printed. But if for any reason you just forgot to give the forward slash, you will see that the code will not work anymore. Okay, code is working because of the text is showing here, but it will not be an h1 if I just change it to anything else. So to do that, you can just inspect the element and check. So if I check here, then you can see here is a h1, here is a h1 as well. But if I just remove this, okay, then if I just check it, you can see this is not a h1 anymore. And if I just remove this from this part, then you can see that the tag has been removed. The tag has been removed. So this how we need to solve the problem. So I will just remove it, because our challenge is just to print the hello world in the browser. Then click run the test, and if everything is okay, it will show us that it is check marked and completed. Then click on submit and go to next challenge. Okay, so now come to the next challenge, headline with H2 element. Over the next few lessons, we will build an HTML5 cat photo web app piece by piece. So we will build a web app just step by step. An H2 element will be adding in this step to add a label to heading to the web page. This element tells the browser about the structure of the H1 elements are offered as main heading. So H1 is offered as main heading and H2 is the subheadings. And there is also H3, H4, H5 and H6. So there is 6 type of headlines in HTML. So it says that add an H2 tag that says cat photo app to create a second HTML element below your hello world. So under the hello world, it should be a H2. So we need to open and close our tag, and in between that, it should be says cat photo app. Okay, so copy that and paste it in between those tags, and then click run the test. So you can see it is working. And also one things you will notice is that it is larger and then the H2. So H1 will be by default the font size or the size of the H1 will be larger. What is font size we will understand in the CSS section. Inform with the paragraph element. Okay, so paragraphs. So we all know that whenever we write something, there is a paragraph. P elements are the preferred element for paragraph text on website. P is short for paragraph. You can create a paragraph element like this. So it will be for heading, it was H1, opening and closing tag. And for P, it will be opening a P tag and then closing the P tag. And in between them, we will write our paragraph. Create a paragraph element below your H2 element and give it text hello world. So under our H2 we should give a paragraph, we should open it and we should close it, unless it will not work, and then we have to give those paragraph and click on run the test, and then you can see it is working. Then click on submit and go to the next challenge. Action letter. Okay, then fill in the blanks with placeholder text. Okay, so placeholder text. Web developer traditionally use lorem ipsum as placeholder text. So what means the placeholder text? When we are designing a website, we may not use the actual content, we may not have the actual content, so we put some dummy contents there, which is usually referred as lorem ipsum. Okay, the lorem ipsum text is randomly scraped from a famous passage by CRO of ancient Rome. Lorem ipsum has been text as placeholder by since 16th century, and this tradition continue on the web. Well, 5 centuries is long enough. Since we are building a cat, let's use something called kitty ipsum text. Okay, replace the text inside your P element with first few words of this kitty ipsum text. Okay, so this will be copied and the paragraph text should be replaced. So I can just remove it and paste those text that I have copied and then click run the test. Then click submit and go to next challenge. Uncomment HTML. So now one thing is really I need to understand is having the comment in our HTML. So what the commenting is, where we can leave our developers to without affecting the result. So people can understand that it is being commenting, or people can understand that what is written in between. Okay, so commenting is also convenient to make code inactive without having to delete it. So if you want some part of our comment, some part of our code not to be deleted but still be there, we can comment them out like that. So you can see there is a smaller angle exclamatory to, and then it is being closed as a comment. So this is multi-line comments and there is a single line comments as well. So our task is to uncomment our H1 H2. So what do we need to do? We need to remove this and we need to remove this. Now you can see again code is showing here. Then we can click run the test. So this is how we uncomment that, or we can comment that with the same way. Uncomment HTML, comment out HTML. So how we can comment out our HTML? Remember that in order to start a comment, we need to use those line. Okay, and we end it with it. So our task here is comment out your H1 elements and your P elements, but not your H2 elements. So H2 elements should not be comment out. So right now all of the codes is comment out. First let's move those. Okay, now you can see that our all the codes is being comment out, but we want, as our for challenge, we want to comment out only H1 and P. So H2 will be there, so it will be outputted. Okay, so to comment that H1 we need to put those lines and then end it with those like that. Okay, now you will see that H1 has been gone, H2 is showing and P is showing. We need to do the same with P as well. We need to put before P, we need to put those, and then after P we need to put those to make the comment for the P. So now you can see that P is commented and H1 is commented, but H2 is still there, which is the part of our challenge. Then click run the test, then click submit and go to next challenge. Delete HTML elements. Okay, so our font does not have much vertical space. Let's remove unnecessary elements so we can start building our cat photo app. Delete your HTML elements so we can simplify our view. So it told us to delete the H1 element. Okay, so how we can delete it? We can backspace like that, or we can select all of them and delete that and click run the test. So removing means deleting it. Okay, so then click submit and go to next challenge. Introducing to HTML5 elements. Okay, so what means HTML5 elements? We'll understand it and try to do step by step. So one is the key thing. HTML5 introduces more descriptive HTML element tags. These include main, header, footer, navigation, video, article, section, and others. So these are HTML elements. Header, footer. So what is header? If we see the FreeCodeCamp website, we can see this is a header, and the header has a navigation, has a menu, right? So what the menu do? So if I just uncheck, if I click on menu, you can see there is some more things about the website is coming up. So this is what the menu is doing, and we have a search bar as well, right? So what HTML5 introduces us few of the more descriptive text, which really makes other developers, or if someone is seeing our code, he can understand that our header is starting from here, from this section to this section, and our footer is from this section to this section. The text give a descriptive structure to your HTML, make your HTML easy to read, and also search engine optimization to make it readable and make it web friendly with Google search engine like Google. Example, main element to your two child element nested like this. So main means this is our main body structure. Many of the HTML5 tags and their benefits are covered in the applied accessibility section. Okay, so we have another section in our next curriculums, in our consequent curriculum in a 5. Create a p element with the following kitty lorem ipsum. Okay, so we need to create a second p element. So we need to create a second p element like that. So just open it and close it, and then put those texts in the p element. Then create a main element and nested only the two p element inside the main. So we need to create a main just like that, but our p should be inside, two of the p should be inside this main element. So we can click enter, and then just copy all those, just select all the 2p and then cut it, and then paste it inside the main, and then click run the test. Okay, so this was our task. Then click on next. Add images to your website. So now come one of the most important thing, which is images. Images is one of the part and parcel of any of our website. For modern website, we need to show some images. So as like this, as you can see, this is a image or logo of the FreeCodeCamp. Same goes for YouTube. Go to YouTube, there is a YouTube logo as well. So images is all about the place, which could be logo, which could be image of a person, something like that. You can add images to your website by using image element. Okay, image element. So right click, what is image element? To a specific image URL using the src attribute. So example should be, we should have an image element, okay, and there will be a src attribute which will provide the source for the image. Note that image elements are self-closing, so we don't need to make a closing tag like h1 or like p. The image must be have an alt attribute. The text inside alt attribute used for screen readers to improve accessibility and is displayed if image fails to load. Note if the image is purely decorative, using an alt element attribute is best practice. Ideally, alt attribute should not contain a special character unless needed. Let's add an alt attribute to your image. Example above. Okay, so the what alt attribute tells the people that if image does not load, that it is the image of a cat. Let's try to add an image to our website. Within the existing main element, insert an image element before the existing p elements. So we need to add a image elements before the p elements. Okay, so how to add the image? So the add the image, we need to give before the p. So the image should be added before the p. So it is a self-closing. Then there will be a src, and there will be src, and there will be a alt tag as well. Okay, alt attribute. Those are attribute. Src is an attribute and alt is an attribute. Okay. Then it says now set the src attributes to the points of the URL of the image. So this is the URL of the image where the image will be sourced from. And finally, don't forget to give your image element an alt attribute with applicable text. Okay, so what could be the alt attribute for the tag for the image? If the image does not load, people can still understand what this image is all about. So it will be relaxing. It is a relaxing cat image. Okay, then click run the test. Then go click submit and go to the next challenge. Okay. Link to external pages with anchor elements. So here is another important things come is linking our pages to other options. Okay. You can use a anchor elements to link to content outside of your web page. A elements need to destination web address called href attributes. They also need anchor text. Here is an example. So you can see A is opening and A is closing, and in the A there is a href attribute. Like for image there is a src attributes. Then your browser will display the links to freecodecamp.org, right? Okay, then create an A element that links to FreeCodeCamp and has cat photos as its anchor text. Okay, in between that there is this links to FreeCodeCamp. Okay, then we need to create an links to cat photos. Okay, then create an A tag like that. We need to open and close it, and in between that there will be href. For anchor, it is called href attributes. So the link is this one. So there should be must be double quotation, and in between those a it will be linking people. So if I click something here, you can see there is output, and these are linking to FreeCodeCamp. And what we need to do? It should be cat photos. It should be cat photos. If someone click on cat photos, it will redirecting people to the freecatphotoapp.com. So you can see freecatphotoapp.com. So this is the link that will be given to that. Then click run the test. Then click submit to and go to the next challenge. Link to internal section of a page with anchor elements. Okay. So what is internal linking and how to do that? We will understand that. Okay, let's go to there. Go with it. So first of all, anchor elements can be used to create internal linking to jump to different section of the page. So we can jump to different section of the page by the internal linking. To assign internal linking, href attributes with symbol hash plus put the value of the id attribute to the element that you wanted to internally link to. As well, further down the page, you need to add the same id attribute to the element you are linking to. An id is attribute that uniquely describe an element. Below is an example of an element. When user click contacts, they will contacts elements. Change the external link of the internal element by changing the href attribute to hash footer, and then the text cat for jump to the bottom. Okay, so let's describe what it means. Okay, first of all, we need to make it internal linking. How? We need to make it internal linking from href, this one, and we need to, so it jumps to the footer. So how to do that? We need to put hash footer, and also we need to put hash footer. But what we need to do, we need to give it an id. Here in footer we need to give it an id, just like that. You can see they give it an id. What will be the id will be the footer. But when we are giving it in an href, we should give it a hash. And id is an unique identity for that section. Okay, so if I click on cat photos, id is footer. Okay, so id will be footer, and id will be footer, and it will redirect people to the bottom parts of the photo. So click run the test. A should be jumped to bottom. id, we give it a id, right? The footer given it a id of footer. So id, and we have given the footer. Why it is not working? So what I am doing mistake here? So you can see it is redirected the footer section. Oh, cat photos to jump to footer. Oh. So the cat photo text should be changed. This is why it is not working. Okay, down to bottom. Okay, so you can see it is working. And if you click run the test, so I did not change the text, so this is why it is not working. Okay. So this is a mistake. So we need to read the portion again very carefully. Nest an anchor element with a paragraph. Okay, so we can nest things with paragraph as well. Okay, so nest the A element with a new paragraph. Do not create a new anchor. Do not create a new anchor. The new paragraph should tag that says view more for our cat photos is a link. Okay, so it will be just like that. We need to make it nest with a paragraph. Okay, A element with a new P element. So we create a new P element and nest it inside A, and A is inside that. The new paragraph should have the tag that says view more cat photos, where cat photos is a link and rest is plain text. Okay, so view more photos, so there will be that, and where cat photos is a link. So if we want to make the cat photos as a link, we need to put it in between the A, right? So then it will be a link, right, like that. But view more is not a link, as you can see, but it is inside P and it is nesting with A. Then click run the test, then it will be work. So this is how it works. Make dead links using the hash symbol. So what is the dead link? Sometimes you want to add elements to your website before now they will link. There is also any changing the behavior of a link in JavaScript, which you will learn about. The current value of href attribute is a link to the points to the, for example, hash href. Replace the href with the attribute of hash. The current value of href attribute is a link. Where is the href? Here. So this is a dead links. That means we just put a hash, nothing here. So this will not work anything. Just for example, href equal to hash. So this is the dead link. A element should be a dead link with the element of hash, which does not redirect people to any of the external website or don't scroll to any of the section of the website. This is just for the test purpose. Then click run the test. Then click submit and go to the next challenge. Turn an image into a link. Also, we can turn our image into a link. How to do that? Just insert the href in between those. Please place the existing image element with a. Once you have done this, hover over the image with your cursor normal pointer should become the link clicking pointer. The photo is now a link. So you can see when we are hovering our mouse to any link, you can see it becomes a hand. And right now, if I just hover my image to this image of the cat image, you can see it is not like that. It is not hand, it is a just mouse cursor. But if I just put a here and just close the a after the image, and also give it href attributes, which is necessary to in the anchor text, and then just we can just move the mouse, you can see it becomes a hand icon just like the one, but other before it was just a mouse icon. So you can see it is linking, so you can we can external linking the image to any other website, just google.com, facebook.com here if I just put, but right now it will be just a hash. Then click run the test. Create a bullet under unordered list. So now it comes to the list. Okay, so for unordered list, what is written here that we can create bullet list inside our HTML. So list can be added like we make list for our shopping etc. But in real world website, list used for menu, list used for showing our services or what we provide in certain package. In real website, this is how wide the list uh, can be used as well. So here is one example of an unordered list. So for example, they given us this code. So let me put this code below this paragraph to show you how this will go. If I put it here, you can see there is two lists created, is milk and cheese. But to create a list, you have to give this UL and close the UL, and inside the UL there will be two lists. There's two lists added like li has opened and closed it. And also we can copy paste more. We can give few more lists as well. Okay, so we can increase it. But we have to open it with UL and end it with UL, and between them we need to make a line. Okay. And then the task challenge for us for this is remove the last two key elements and create an another list of three things that cat laughs at bottom of the page. So what they said, we have to remove the paragraph from our page and three things that cats love. So milk cats laughs, I think, and other things I don't know actually. So let's give it cheese and water. So it does not matter, but it has to be three things, and the three elements should be removed, and the list should be bottom of the page. So it is bottom of the page. Then click run the test. Okay. So if you are something no for more, you can go to W3 school for more example. Okay. So W3 school is also a beginner friendly. So you just can see that if it is mixing the FreeCodeCamp, and alternatively you have other resources as well. So then click run the test, and you can see it is working. Then it is creating an ordered list. Okay, so what ordered list and what ordered list do? So if I just you can see if I just copy those text. First of all, let's copy those and paste it below this paragraph. Okay, so ordered list just makes one, two, three, and another list just gives those jobs, bullet points. Okay, so this is the here. Get an ordered list will stop three things get the most. So it should be ordered list with three things. So it could be any three things. I just copied the oil. Here it was UL, and now it is oil. And inside that, like the unordered list, it is LI as well. So three things and click on the list. So it will be complete. We go to the next one. Okay, then come create a text field. So what the text field means, you have to understand that. Now let's create a web form. So now comes one of the most important part of any website. It is called form. So if you go any website, like if I show you an example website, like line. So if you go any website, there you will find forms. So people can submit the form and contact the owner of the website for the service for any related info. So like that you can see you can put name, email, phone number, so and then click submit the button to submit the form to the owner of the website. So form is one of the essential part for any website. So we come to this important part. Input elements are a convenient way to get input from your user. You can create input field like this. Input type should be text. Note that input elements are self-closing, like the image. Okay, so the image was also a self-closing text. Create an input element of type text below your list. So we should create input elements with the type of text below our list. Below our list. So why our list ended after this oil? So we should create here. So you can see there is an input. And we will add the further information like name, text, label, everything. Submit button you can see in the next lesson. Okay, run the test. Okay, so this is good. Now come add placeholder to a text field. Now what the placeholder actually means, if you see this website, there is a label, but there could be a placeholder in there that please enter your name, please put your email. So placeholder also used in between the text field. Okay. So this is what we are going to learn here. So what we did here previously, we put input type equal to text. Those are attributes like that href, like that src, and then we can put a placeholder. This is text placeholder. Okay, so let's copy this one and then set the placeholder value. Set the placeholder. So this will be the placeholder. The attribute should be the placeholder. Here it will be put, and the placeholder value will be cat photo URL. Cat photo URL. So this text will be created and it will be cat photo URL. Now you can see people can understand that what they should put there. They should insert a cat photo URL of a cat, a image URL of a cat. Okay, whatever we put there, people can easily understand and give it to the user experience, friendly experience for the end user. Okay, then this is our challenge. Let me run the test and let's go to the next challenge. Create a form element. Now comes the form things. The form where to submit, like those are the things. Nest the existing element inside a form and assign author to the action attribute of the form. Okay. So we should nest the input inside a form. So form will be start before the input and will be closed after the input. An action. So here is the attribute where the form will be submitted should be in the form. And they said as part of the challenge, the form element and assign author to the action attribute. So the action attribute will be assigned to the field like that. So there should be a forward slash and then the link. Then click run the test. Form should be action will be set to. Okay, so I think this should be removed. This should be removed like that. Then click run the test. So there should not be a forward slash. Without the forward slash, just for example, they put the forward slash. Then click run the test. Okay, then we will just go to the more complexity of the submit button. Okay, so here is one other important thing. Let's add a submit button to your form. Clicking the button will send data to the URL specified between action attribute. Button type is equal to submit. Add a button for your form and type submit and submit as with text. Okay, so the type always should be submit unless this button won't be submitted. Okay, and it should be nested inside the form. Okay, so now you will find that there is a submit button, and what the text will be, it will be submit. This text should be deleted as per for the challenge. It should be submit. You can put anything like submit, subscribe, but for the challenge, it should be submit. Then click run the test. Then go to the next challenge. Use HTML5 to require a field. Okay, so now comes another important part. So in form, there is some fields will be mandatory. Like if someone is need to get a file from your website, they have to put the email. Have to put the email. They can put the name or not, but they should put the email. We have to give those mandatory options unless people can never submit any info and submit a form. Okay, so for that we need to give this required text in the input field. Okay, try to submit the form without inputting any text. See how your HTML form notifies when the field is required. Okay, so let's first put the required in the input field. Okay, and then click submit. Then you can see it is showing us a notification that this please fill in this info. Without the info, the form will not be submitted. And if they put the info, then form will be submitted. Create a set of radio buttons. So what the radio buttons means? So first of all, let's just copy those and then let me come here, paste those to show you what the radio button means. Okay. So here the radio button means people can. Okay. So let's copy the one of the radio buttons from here and paste it here below this one. You can see there is two radio buttons. We can choose one or another. Just like if someone is filling a form which is considered interested, you can choose one from any of those three. Okay, it is considered best practice to set a for attribute on the label element. On the label element, a bell with the fetches the value ID into the equivalent. This allows Necessary technology to create a link relationship between the level and variant. For example, input ID indoor, type radio, name indoor, outdoor. For indoors, ID indoor, type radio, name indoor, outdoor. Okay, add a pair of radio buttons to your phone, each nested its own level element, and one should have the option of indoor and the both should have the option of outdoor. Both should have the same name attribute of indoor outdoor to create an radio button. Okay, so what it says that its own level pair of two. Each nested its own level elements. Each should be nested its own level elements. Okay. And have the option of indoor and other should have option of outdoor. So one is already indoor, so other will be outdoor. Okay, then it should be outdoor, it should be outdoor as well. And the it will be indoor outdoor. The name should have indoor outdoor in the attribute. So both them have indoor outdoor. It is for outdoor. The level is for outdoor as you can see. And both have the indoor outdoor attribute. Then I click run the test. Each of your levels should have a close in there. Okay. So I did a mistake here. What mistake did I make? So one level is extra. Okay. So if there is a level, there is a level ended. There is a level and here is the level ended. This is the level ended. Okay. Then I click run the test. So I just forgot to delete the previous level. Create a set of checkboxes. Now another important things about form is having the checkboxes. Okay, you can check multiple options. Add to your form a set of three checkboxes. Each checkbox should be nested with its own level elements, and all three should share the same name attribute of personality. Okay. Okay. So under that, loving. And then it should be carried. The ID will be carried. Also the level this will be changed to carried. And again another level will be copied. And also this for should be nested in the whole loop. Fantastic. Fantastic. The ID will be fantastic. And also the level will be fantastic. Okay. Then you can see, you can check each of the checkbox. But for radio order, you can select only one. So this is the thing here. Then click on the test. Okay, then use the bell attribute with radio, buttons and checkbox. So here comes another important point. When a form gets submitted, the data is sent to the server and entries for the option selected. Input type, input of types radio and checkbox report their values from the value attribute. Okay, so value is important part which will save the data or referring the data when it will be submitted to the server. Like level for indoor, ID indoor, value indoor, type radio, name indoor outdoor. Okay. Here you have two radio inputs. When there is a submitter form, indoor option selected, the form would include the like indoor, outdoor equal to indoor. This one is the name and value attributes of the indoor input. This is the form name and value. Okay, the name and value will be shown. If you omit the value attribute, the submitted or the form data will be on in this scenario. Give it the existing radio buttons and checkbox inputs the value attribute and do not create any radio checkbox element. Use the input level text in lowercase as the value for that level input level text. Value will be text in lowercase. Okay, then copy it. Then here, also here, all the things will be same. Okay, then also, and there is a model in there. One of your devices should have value attribute of Windows. Value Windows and Windows. Windows, and it should be outdoors. One of your checkbox should have the value attribute of lobby. Okay. Lazy and okay. So value should be just like that. So where is the indoor for ID indoor, value indoor, outdoor, value indoor. Okay, so I got the point. So this value for this lobby, the value will be lobby, right? Let's copy that and come to this one. Yeah, the value will be lazy, just like ID and for. And then for the last one, the value will be, and I will take it. Here they say, okay, what they say to us? If each of the existing value or checkbook input the value to do. Do not create any new at your element. Use the input level text in your things. Input level text in your things. Okay, what we put in the input, we should leave it in the lowercase. That's the value for that. I thought that text should be the value. This. It should be this name should be the value for each of them individual. Then click run the test. Okay, so sometimes you need to go through the things couple of times to get the output. Okay, check ready button and checkbox by default. Check ready button. Okay, so we can give them a default check property. Set fast of your area buttons and the fast of your checkbox to both the check by default. Okay, so I'll copy the check attribute and go for the for it should be checked for the first one, and for the type is checkbox and it is radio. For the first checkbox, for the first radio it is checked and the last one, so you can see both of them for first option is checked. So run the test. Okay, so this is fun. Nest many elements with a single div element. Okay, try putting your div tag above your things, cats, labs. Okay, and closing div tags is your oil tag, so both the listed with one div. Okay. Okay, before that, things cat lab we should have a div, and in between those divs, it should be closed here. So in between those divs, these things inside this div. And we'll click run the test. So div means division and nested all the things inside those divs. Declare the doc type of an HTML element. So it has come into the later part of the video. Add a doc type here for HTML to the top of the blank in that code editor. Under it, add opening and closing HTML text which wrap an HTML element. The heading can include any text. Okay, so this is the by default document type for the HTML. Okay, and what they say that um, under it, under it, at opening and closing HTML text, which wrapped around and it should wrap around an H1 tag, just like that. It should say any text, and then click run the test. Okay, so it will get it closer 96%. Define the header and body of an HTML document. So it is one of the most important things. Defining what is the header, what is the body, what is the footer, what is meta, all about. So we have few things which is called head, HTML, head, body. Then we have link, meta, title, style, head, doc type. So this is how it goes. Edit markup. So there is a head, a body. And the head should only include the title, and the body should only include the external thing. Okay, so we should have had inside a head. Yeah. Okay, and then inside the head there should be a title. Title represents the page title. This page title. Okay. Okay, so what I said, head and body, head should, title and body should only contain H1 and P. After that, no, 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 no. There is already a title, so just cut it and put it inside the head. And then have a body and close the body tab, just like edit and then press enter. And then we need to, what we need to do is just copy or inside all the H1 and P inside the body. Okay, so this how it becomes an ideal HTML5. Then click run the test. So it is 100% completed. So now we have come nicely, we have completed the basic HTML, HTML5. So now what we come to the basic CSS and we start the basic CSS from the next part of the video. So I hope you enjoyed it, and if so, please smash the like button and also let me know in the comment. So I'm very excited to start the HTML CSS thing, so we can start designing our own web pages. So there is 44 lessons, and we can continue doing the solution for those and complete the responsible design part from FreeCodeCamp. Okay, so then we can move to the basic CSS. Okay, let's start the basic CSS part of our course. So then please change the color of text. So this is the first lesson.